But dude, God showed up in your office and just, I mean, I was profound.
Hmm.
The level of healing I found in that session that day was utterly profound.
Welcome to the CrossCounsel podcast. We offer a Christ-centered solution that helps people experience lasting freedom, relief, and growth through our melt process. For nearly 3 decades, we've walked alongside individuals, couples, pastors, ministry leaders, and churches as they pursue healing, growth, and deeper alignment with God's truth and purposes. Negative emotions and painful circumstances do not have to run your life, but lasting freedom and formation often require courage, honesty, humility, and a willingness to invite God into the deeper places of your heart. And as you listen, we hope you won't simply listen to and observe what God is doing in the lives of others, but recognize that you too can participate in the healing, freedom, and transformation God desires for you. All right, let's get into it. Well, I'm excited to have a special guest with us today, Pastor Shane Holden. And I think, Shane, that might be the first time you've ever heard me refer to you as a pastor or as pastor. There's other names we call each other, but we'll save that. But yeah, Shane and I have known each other for, dude, over 25 years,
Yeah.
right? We've raised families together, during the same season. Our boys, our oldest, have been friends since kindergarten, like buddies. We've shared a lot of experiences together, traveled together a little bit, played flag football and softball together. There's some pretty good flag football stories. I think we could.
I prefer to call it arena football.
Exactly. Oh, with the walls and yeah. So yeah, you hit the wall once or twice, harder than you probably would have liked to.
I've got scars from it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Uh, and some of them are physical, but mostly emotional, I think. We even coached basketball together. We've walked through some pretty difficult challenges together with some friends, and we've seen God write some pretty interesting chapters. So, Shane, yeah, for those who might not know you, just give us the quick introduction of like who you are today. Tell us about your family, what you enjoy outside of ministry, and things like, is it difficult to live so close to Minnesota Viking territory? And maybe a little bit about your church.
Well, let's start with the Vikings thing
Okay.
because I live on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. So half of my church are Vikings fans.
Mm.
And as long as they never win a Super Bowl, it's going to be awesome.
Sure.
It's pure torment from me to them on a regular basis. But I'm in a place called Onalaska, Wisconsin, which I had never heard of until this church called me, gosh, was it 15 or 16 years ago, to talk to me about coming up here to help them change and transition from a 110-year-old Evangelical Free Church of America to something more contemporary. And so, but it's beautiful. We've been here for, I think it's, yeah, 15, 16 years.
16 years. It was
Celebrated
2010.
my,
Yeah.
yeah, May was my 16-year anniversary here. So we love it. We've seen God do just beautiful things in this church, but the whole area, just a beautiful place to live. As I'm in my office, I'm looking out the window. The Mississippi River is literally right there. It's just a beautiful area. The people are amazing. And, it's only a couple hours from Madison. It's where I'm born and raised.
Hmm.
But it's just a different pace of life here. Just a little more conservative, a little quieter. People are in as much of a hurry. It's we love it here, and so our kids kind of grew up here. Well, I guess Max was 16 or so when we
Hmm.
moved here. I have 4 kids, and so now they're all married, all have children. So I have 6 grandkids with 3 more on the way this summer, so we'll be at 9. It's a riot. It's a riot. I didn't think I'd be 56 years old with 9 grandkids, but we love it. Our
Hmm.
oldest son, Max, who's dear friends with your oldest son, AJ, he is on our staff, has been for a few years now as our youth pastor. He's also part of the weekend preaching team. So that's fun to have my oldest son working with me here. I mean, that's the nutshell of who
Hmm.
I am now. Mostly I'm a grandpa now, and that's what, yeah, that's our free time. That's what we love to do.
Right.
Yesterday, I took the day off and we went to a place called Lake Wazee and hung out with a couple of my kids and my grandkids, and just that's kind of our free time hobby now, and we love it.
Yeah. Does your wife Vicky like Does she like being a mom more or a grandma? Like, how do you compare that? Because she's just built for both. Just
I don't know. I like being a grandpa better. I would have
yeah,
started here if I
right,
could have.
right, yeah, yeah.
But she loves, I mean, she hasn't worked since we had Max.
Hmm.
Stay-at-home mom, homeschooled a lot, all those things. And then when our youngest left, we've been empty nesters for, gosh, I guess 8 years, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, 8 years. And when our youngest one left, we had that conversation because she's got two bachelor's degrees from DW Madison. So we had the conversation, should she get a job? And I just said, like, if you want to just keep doing what you did with our kids, with our grandkids, go for it. Money's just money. Who gets that opportunity to just pour their, because all our grandkids are right here, super close. So she's completely involved in their lives. She's just doing the same things she did as a mom with our grandkids. And so she absolutely loves being a grandma.
Yeah,
She's living her best life,
yeah,
man.
exactly, right. She's keeping you in line a little bit.
She tries,
Yeah,
takes more than her, but she tries.
yeah. I wasn't sure, what I was going to get. I didn't think I was going to get three-piece suit Shane, for the podcast. But
I
I'm,
dressed up for you. It's
I was going to say you
80
wore a
degrees
shirt.
here. It's 80 exactly. It's 80 degrees. I have shorts on under this shirt. It would have been a tank top for sure. That's my work apparel here in the summer. We're very casual at First Free Church. I lost you, man. I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear your voice. It's kind of nice.
I'm going to keep that
I
in.
got I got you.
I don't know how that
I got
button got clicked. I looked at it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Wow. Ah, well, the Holy Spirit wanted something there, I guess. I'll figure that out in editing, but yeah, nice. So she keeps you in line and you're starting to, is that a tattoo I see? Do you have a
I
tattoo?
don't know. I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
All right.
Christians shouldn't do stuff like that, so I would never get a tattoo.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, yeah,
Be offensive. That could be offensive to Pharisaical Christians, and I would never want to offend a Pharisaical religious Christian, so I would never do anything
all
like
right.
that.
I'm going to make a note of that. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm being kind of crazy. I don't have shoes on right now. So full disclosure, that's how crazy I get. So take this show on the road here. So, all right. Yeah. Why would you want to save souls when you could make people laugh? Haha. Yeah, that's good. So anyway, so speaking of saving souls, and so hey, let's rewind a bit. Take us all the way back, like before First Free, before you came to Onalaska, even before the like the Mad City days. So who were you before Jesus got a hold of your life?
Oh gosh. I mean, I grew up in to say dysfunctional would be an understatement. My house was crazy. My dad was alcoholic, sex addict, cokehead, uh, rageaholic, all the stuff. And so I grew up in just incredible abuse, right?
Hmm.
And so by the time I was 14, I think started smoking pot every day. Was an everyday pot smoker, all kinds of trouble with the law, binge drinking. By the time I was 16 or 17, it was LSD and mushrooms, and I got addicted to cocaine. And so it was rough, right? Promiscuous,
Hmm.
all of it, just as the whole thing, as bad as it could be, I suppose. I started dating Vicky, my wife, in high school. She was different. She was a good human. I don't know why, but whatever. So she was in my life, and probably the only thing that kept me from just going f full blown off the rails was her. She kept me rooted a little bit,
Hmm.
best she could. I
Yeah,
loved her, so
yeah. So
she just
she was a good human, but she had bad judgment in one area of her
very
life.
bad judgment
Yeah,
in
right.
one,
Okay.
clearly.
Sorry, keep going.
But then my best friend, Blaine, uh, who we got in all his dad, he lived with his
Mm.
dad, and his dad loved me. He was like a Navy, he was a Golden Gloves boxer in the Navy when he was young. Just he was one of those guys, drywaller, man's man. Everyone was kind of afraid of him, but he just kind of took me under his wing because of how I had grown up. And so there was a season when I was in high school, he even let me live in their living room because I didn't have a place to live because my my family was so messed up. So he had a great affection for me. And I spent lots of time there. The long story short is he got saved when I was about 16, and it was profound. Like the
Hmm.
change in his life was profound. I watched it happen.
Hmm.
Just beautiful. He just started talking about Jesus. He'd weep. It was just a really amazing transformation. So he's telling me about Jesus all the time
Mm.
after that. Like I'm 16, 17, and his name was John. And I always be
Yep.
like, yeah, I believe it's real, John. I don't want anything to do with that. Like, I don't, but I'm glad you found something that works for you kind of thing. And so, but he was that, like, just that constant witness in my life
Hmm.
for probably 4 years. And then I was just about 21. Vicky and I were 6 months away from getting married. And I just went out on an absolute bender, man, of like a 2 day binge, just coke and drunk. And that's when I woke up from that bender. I remember it vividly because I woke up at Vicky's mom's house. That's where she was staying at the time. She was a UW student, but she was home on break. It was the middle of winter. So I just remember it vividly because it was her 21st birthday.
Mm.
So I remember waking up in her bedroom. I don't really remember how I got there, but it's dark outside because I'd slept all day. And I wake up in that bedroom, in her bedroom, and it just takes me a while to piece it together because I'm sick, I'm hungover, I'm feeling like a loser. And it strikes me in that moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Vicky's birthday today. It's her 21st birthday. I have no money left. I spent like $500 partying the last 2 days. I'm too sick to take her out. I don't have a gift, nothing, man. I'm sitting in her bedroom, and I just have this thought. Uh, I didn't know anything about God speaking. I just had a thought, and the thought was, you're going to be just like your dad. This cycle is going to repeat itself. This
Mm.
girl loves you. You're going to wreck her like your mom was wrecked by your dad. You'll do to your kids what your dad did to you. This cycle is going to repeat itself. And I just was like, it shocked me. Because the last thing I want to do is hurt Vicky due to my mom, the things my dad did, or due to Vicky, what my dad did to my mom.
Hmm.
And the last thing I'd ever want to do is do anything like my dad did to me, to my children. So that precipitated my first actual prayer in
Mm.
that moment, where I just kind of looked at the ceiling and basically said, God, if you're real, and you can fix me so that cycle doesn't repeat itself, if you can like somehow make me not so messed up, like I'm in, like, amen.
Hmm.
So it wasn't, that's all it was. Could you make me not so messed up? But with that prayer, I'm not suggesting anyone do this. I gave God 30 days to prove he was real. I just said, but I got to know you're real. So I'm going to give you 30 days to prove to me that you're real. So here's what I'll do. I'm having this conversation with a ceiling at 20 years old. I said, I will quit drinking and doing drugs for 30 days. I will read that Bible John gave me, the stuff he said, Proverbs and John. I'll read it. I'll go to that crazy church every time the doors are open. 30 days. I'll go all in. You got to show up because I can't have something phony. I can't do a crutch thing. It's got to be real. I got to know it's real.
Mm.
Like, amen. And I did it. Yeah, I was checking stuff off day one, day two. And I really was reading Proverbs and John, the Gospel of John, because that's what he had told me to read. And I love Proverbs because, if you grew up like I did, you're like, that stuff's true. The wine,
Mm.
the women, that'll get you. And then reading the Gospel of John, I didn't know Jesus was God, like, but just Jesus as a man, reading the Gospel of John, I was like, this guy's awesome.
Right.
He was awesome, man. And in the middle of that 30-day experience, whatever I was giving God, 30 days to show up, Vicky had started going to, she was a UW student, and she started going to this group on campus called College and Career. The
Mm.
church that we were going to was John's church,
Hmm.
and they had this group on campus that he had told Vicky about. So she's going to this already. And so as I'm making this 30-day deal with God, Vicky's like, you need to come with me to this thing. It's on Thursday nights. And I was like, no way. I don't go to college, nor do I have a career. I was managing a sub shop. It's called Big Mike's Super Subs. It's Melio's now, but down on campus, I manage a sub shop. But she basically said, you said anything. you told God anything. I was like, you're right. I did. Okay, I'll go. So the first time I go, dude, it's a Thursday night. It's like 150 Christian kids that grew up like in the Pentecostal church. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Squeaky clean Pentecostals. At that point, I got hair down to here. I am like, I looked like I had lived, you know?
Mm.
So I walk in that first meeting. I'll never forget it, man. These kids were like, we got a live one here, man. You know what I mean? So they're like, they're all over me. And it freaked me out. And I go back the next week. And the next week, so it's the second time I'm there. It's like a week and a half into my little deal with God. It's a Thursday night. They say to me, hey, brother. They called me brother. I was like, I'm
Mm.
not your brother. They called me brother. They said, we're going on a retreat this weekend, and we feel like the Lord wants you to come with us. And I was like, you feel like the Lord wants me to go in the woods with you weirdos? That's never, ever gonna happen. I'm not going in the woods with you people. Kumbaya, cool. No way.
Right.
And again, like Vicky was just, she kind of nudged me. She's like, you said anything. She's
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, I did. I said anything. All right, you want to go, Vicky? We can go. We can do this. Because again, we're engaged to be married at this point. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. So it's that the next day we load up and we go with these people the next day into the woods to some retreat center. There's like 100 of them, and it's a Friday night. And dude, it is everything I thought it was going to be, and then some. You know what I mean? They're going crazy at worship. It's the acoustic guitars, the overhead projector back in the day with the choruses up on the screen. All brand new to me, man.
Hmm.
But they're going nuts, and I'm just like, here we go. It's a cult, man. And I'm sitting in the room. I'm standing there because they're worshiping. And I got my jean jacket on and hair kind of long to cover my face. I got my Marlboro Reds in my pocket, you know, and I'm just kind of like this. And as they're singing these songs, I'm looking at the screen, and every time it would say God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, anything like
Hmm.
that, which I had no idea were direct names for God. I didn't know anything. I'm wanting to cry. Like my heart's pounding. I'm feeling these crazy emotions, and I'm fighting it all because all I'm thinking is if I cry in this room with these people, they're going to think they got me, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
one of them. And so I'm like, I'm fighting all these emotions. And then it was almost like before I knew it, my hands are in the air. I got tears just streaming on my face. I'm singing at the top of my lungs. I can't even explain it, but it was like in a moment, scales fell off my eyes and I understood this thing called the gospel, that he loved me, that he died on that cross for me, that it wasn't just he wanted to like fix me or make me, because my first prayer was, if you can make me not so messed up, amen. I didn't have a thought that he would love me, that he could love me, that he'd want me. And it just, I got it. He died on that cross for me because he loves me. He
Hmm.
wants to forgive me. He wants me. I like, that was it. I was in like out of radical darkness into light. And it was really just the simple truth of the good news of the gospel that he loved me just as I was, that he died for me just as I couldn't believe he could love me like that. So that was it. And just because of the way I came to faith like that and what I got saved out of, the fact that he would love someone like me, I guess it just kind of made me like an instant evangelist. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to tell everyone in the world about Jesus because I felt like I just won the lottery. And so that was the beginning of, I was in Bible college a year later. I was a youth pastor 2 years after that. It was crazy. Just like that's how it started though.
So before you go there, I don't know if I've ever heard the story of how did John find out then? Your friend's dad who's been preaching the gospel to you. Did you tell him personally, or how did that go down?
Yeah, I mean, well, what happened was the retreat ended
Hmm.
on a Saturday evening or Saturday night, right?
Okay.
And then, oh, no, Sunday morning. We had a Sunday morning service out there in the woods. And the church at the time was called Madison Gospel Tabernacle. Then it became City Church or Lake City Church. Now it's City Church.
Hmm.
Yeah, but there was going to be a Sunday night service there that night. So we are going to leave, go home, unpack, all that stuff, and there'd be a worship service there that night, but it would also be with people from the church. And so John was actually there, but interesting segue. On my way there, so that's when John found out that
Yep.
night. I was like,
Okay.
Jesus is real, John. Right. So he found out immediately. But on my way there, this is how real it was to me. We go home from the retreat. I'm burning. Jesus is real. I'm born again. And we're heading to the Sunday night service. But my old roommate, I had moved out of my roommate's house about 3 months ago to save up a little money because me and Vicky were getting married. He's also my uncle. He's 4 years older than me, one of my uncles, and we were roommates for a couple of years. And he lived on the north side of Madison, right across in this nasty little house right across the street from Wiggy's Bar. And I say to Vicky on our way, like, I know Jay and a couple other dear friends, they're always there. I know they're just going to be hanging out there,
Mm.
drinking Michelob and smoking weed and watching football. Let's go get them. I go to her. I go, let's get them. Like, 'cause I feel like I found what everyone's looking for.
Mm.
Let's go get them. They need this too. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take him to church with us for this Sunday night service. And Vicky, she's like, hey, you might want it. I'm like, no, man. Like, who wouldn't want this? Like, so we stop there on our way to the service. I leave the car running. I say, I'll go get him, Vicky. Just wait here. Like, I'm convinced they're gonna come with me, but they haven't seen me now for like 2 or 3 months, right?
Okay.
And so I walk in this house, dude, and I'm just like, and they're sitting there drinking Michelob, smoking weed, playing video games. And I say to them, I say, they're like, they're like, they just look at me and and I'm just, they're like, bro, where have you been? What have you been doing? And I'm like, listen, you guys, I found it. I found what we're looking for. His name is Jesus. He's what we're looking for. He's what we've been looking for. It's not the drugs, it's not the drinking, it's not the girls, it's none of that, man. It's Jesus. I found him and I can take you to him right now. Like, I'm heading there right now. I can, like, in my mind, I can take them to Jesus if they
Mhm.
just come get in this. It was so funny. They're just like, bro, it'll pass. You're too cool for this. Like, all that kind of stuff. All that to say they didn't get in the vehicle with me. But that's how it hit me on the front end. And so
Okay.
I was that guy at that church.
Mm.
Like, there was a season where I would have 10 people with me at church. I'd fill up the front row of the church with just friends from my past because I so wanted everyone I knew to find this Jesus that I
Mm.
found. But that's the long way of telling you John found out the same
Okay.
night.
Yeah. I can't imagine John not being that guy because I knew him all after that.
Oh,
And it
he
just
was,
seemed like he'd walked with Jesus his whole life. He just had that spirit
yeah,
about
man.
him.
Yeah.
And he did our drywall here at CrossCounsel. So I hold a
That's
special
awesome.
place in my heart. John was pretty generous with us
Oh,
with
he
that.
was such a gift. Even those first few years of my faith, he was, like, I was Bible study in his basement. He was mentoring me, discipling me. He was such a gift. When he passed a few years back,
Hmm.
I drove to Madison. I got to spend some time with him, like, kind of on his deathbed. So funny, dude. I walk in to the hospital room. He sees me, just tears up
Mm.
instantly, just because we had such affection for each other. I was like a spiritual son to him.
Right.
He's he says the first thing he says to me is, Shane, don't you dare pray for me to be healed. I'm ready. I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
Everyone that walks in here prays for me to be healed, as if I want to be healed. Don't you dare. I was like, I
Yeah.
won't pray for you, John. I'll let you go. And dude, he had led, I think, 3 or 4 of the nurses in that place to Jesus as he was passing away. Like, he was just a gift, man.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
rare, rare person.
Yeah, for sure. So then how long after that do you find yourself at Bible college?
It was about it was a, it was a year and a half later. But listen, it wasn't to go be a pastor,
Mm.
like, because I said to Tom Flaherty, who's the pastor at City Church now, who's my pastor. He was the pastor of the college and career group. He was discipling me. When I told him I felt like I should go to Bible college, he says to me, he says, no, 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 bro, no, no. You're not pastor material. You're a blue collar guy. You're leading people to Jesus. Like, and I was like, no, man. Like, I don't want to be a pastor. I want to learn. I'm telling
Mm.
everyone that moves about Jesus. I don't know anything, man. I'm hungry to learn. And so he pulled some strings to get me into a Bible college called Christian Life College right outside of Chicago.
Hmm.
It's a Bible college that's associated with the fellowship of churches that they're a part of. And he pulled some strings because I didn't have I had a 1.6 GPA. from high school. I never took a SAT, ACT, anything. So they were like, I will give the kid a shot. What the heck? And so, but I landed there not to be a pastor. I didn't think guys like me, I agreed with Tom. I shouldn't be a
Mm.
pastor. I don't think guys like me could be a pastor. So I went there. So it was a year and a half after I came to faith. I showed up there just to learn the Bible, not thinking I was heading into ministry.
Mm. All right. And so as you look at those years, like, what do you appreciate about the years at Bible college?
It taught me to study.
Mm.
I mean, I was so green. It's just funny when you think about it. The way I grew up, and a year and a half later, I'm in Bible college, and I was 22 when I started Bible college, and I'm married, right? So Vicky and I moved there together, and I was so green though. Like the first day, they do a chapel, and the guy talking was talking about lust. I didn't even know what lust. I didn't even know that was a thing. Dude, I was freaking out. I'm not kidding. I'm like, you can't even think about having sex with somebody I'm married to. You can't. What? Like he got done. I was running to all these young men, these all the dudes. I'm like, did you guys know this? You can't even think. How do you guys not do that? Like, what do you guys do about it? It was we joked about it later. They all ran from me like I had the plague. Nobody wanted to talk to me about it, and so I'm thinking I'm the only one that struggles with this. And obviously later I learned they all struggle with it too. They just don't want to talk about it. But I was that green.
Mm.
And what I think I appreciated most about it was it taught me how to study.
Mhm.
And it also helped me understand that I actually was kind of smart, right? Like I didn't know. I had never read a whole book cover to cover until I was in Bible college ever. And so I didn't even know what to expect. And like my first semester, I graduated with a 3.99. I got an award, an academic award. They were like, "Hey, Shane, you have a gift. Did you know this?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." So they were trying to, get me to go to Trinity Evangelical Divinity Seminary to pursue like a MDiv or a PhD. They just said, "You have a gift." And so I think more than anything, that's what I appreciated about it. It helped me realize God had given me some intellectual ability that I didn't know I had, and they taught me how to study, how to dig in and study God's word for myself.
Okay. Okay. And then after that, you graduate, and is that when you went up way north?
Yeah, well, Vicky always just wanted to be a mom, right? So
Hmm.
when I said we were getting married, and when I said I want to go to Bible college, she was a little, she was a little brokenhearted because
Mm.
I had a good job in a factory. I was a press operator. So for someone without a degree, I was a hard worker. So I had a fine career. We would have been okay. So she wanted babies immediately. So she was finishing her last year of college, and we got married. So she was a little bummed. And so when they started having those conversations with me, man, about like, you have a gift, you should go to Trinity and get a master's and maybe a PhD, Vicky's just panicking. Like, I might have to wait 6 or 8 years for babies. So after 1 year of Bible college, just one,
Okay.
Vicky started putting the moves on me for a baby.
Ah.
And what I learned, this might be a little extra for your listeners. What I learned in that season of life is if you love your wife and you're attracted to your wife and your wife wants a baby, she's going to get a baby.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to get a baby. If she's fertile, she's going to get a baby because there's
Right.
really not a lot you can do to stop that from happening. I learned this as a young man. This is extra for the young men watching this.
We're going to stop here for today. In our next episode, we'll continue our conversation with Pastor Shane Holden. Thank you for listening to the CrossCounsel podcast. We invite you to visit crosscounsel.com to learn more about genuine healing and becoming a more useful instrument in God's kingdom purposes. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and share this podcast. It helps others discover the same potential for hope and healing found only in Jesus. Again, thank you for listening.